Thank you for joining me today and allowing me to introduce my health proposal, Emotional Carousel, dealing with coping with change. Firstly, I'd like to apologise for the wonky screen. We have tried to fix it, but clearly been unsuccessful. Coping with change is something that is going to happen to everybody. It's inevitable. So if we can have early intervention and equip young people with the skills to deal with the change from an early on, then we're giving them best possible opportunities to succeed, to thrive and to connect, supporting the New South Wales health promotion framework. So as I said, evidence shows that when young people are in good health, they have better educational outcomes, transition into work, healthy adult lifestyles, and go on to having fewer challenges forming families. So what we aim to do now as young people affect them in adulthood. So it's vital that we start putting interventions in. We want everybody to succeed. So why is school? A school could possibly be the best setting for early intervention. It's timely. Children are going through change, with coping through from primary to secondary school, the transitioning, new friendship groups, new environments. So if we can give them support and guidance and the skills to cope with change, then it will be more of a successful transition. Teachers get to spend so much time with students and young people. So it's great that we have this time and we can then support them and help them develop. Now, the Ottawa Charter mentions that there's 5 domains to health. It's not just about physical health, there's mental, social, and it goes on. Okay, Emotional Carousel will focus on 3 of the domains: social, mental, and emotion. So we're looking at a holistic approach. Why coping with change? As I've previously mentioned, it's inevitable. We're all going to deal with change from young to adulthood. So if we again have the skills, it will be easier for us. Mission Australia mentioned that young people have raised that they struggle with coping with stress, coping with mental health, body image. Coping is the main word, okay? We don't want them to cope, okay? We want them to be confident and cope in a positive way, not just deal with it and have all this anxiety and negativity with having to cope with it. We want them to be empowered and have the protective factors to successfully cope with it. Emotional Carousel will be student focused. The student will be at the centre of everything we do, okay? As I previously mentioned, it's going to be a holistic approach. It's not just going to focus on one particular domain. It will be inclusive. Every child matters. Every child needs to thrive, okay? Therefore, we'll take many pedagogical approaches, a lot of group work, a lot of explicit teaching, a lot of teamwork in think, pair and share. So we're catering for everybody's needs. The environment will be inclusive, it will be safe, children will be made to feel comfortable. There will be a protective, positive environment. And know your student, okay? For us to succeed with a student, we need to know how to really capture them. This links in with the New South Wales PDHP curriculum syllabus. One of the outcomes is to know your students. How does your student learn? How can we get the best out of that particular student? And it's talking about empowering them. Every student needs to be empowered to, when they leave school or transition from stage 3 to stage 4, that they are empowered. Giving them a voice, okay? We don't want them to hide behind. Okay, we want them to be proud, want them to be loud, and we want them to voice their concerns and views. It will be a strength-based approach, so we'll be building on what students already know, the skills, what they already know, and again, this will reflect the New South Wales syllabus. Okay, it will be a positive approach, Okay, we're not going to look at the negatives of coping with change. We're going to look at how we can thrive and be positive. Okay, we'll work in collaboration with external providers. Yes, we are teachers. We've got a wealth of knowledge. We spend so much time with our students. We know our students, but we are not the experts. And if we can create a network, a support network, bringing in other professionals, it gives the student and the teachers a bigger support network to get the best message across. So what will the students get out of the programme? Okay, so we're looking at protective factors. Resilience, okay? One of the main protective factors, children being able to bounce back. They're going to have troubled times, they're going to have hard times, but it's letting them know that they will be okay and how they will be okay. Okay, building interpersonal skills, their confidence, okay, their leadership skills, looking at their self-efficacy. Can they know how to, if they've got a problem, do they know how to deal with it and recognise that they are not coping, okay, and that they have got a voice, their self-awareness skills. Again, you know, I'm struggling here. I need to talk. I need to have that confidence to talk. I need to know where to go for my support networks and who I can approach and who I feel comfortable approaching. So we want to make the student all round with these interpersonal skills, self-awareness skills, making them resilient and having a voice. It's about the student having a voice. Ultimately, all these are building protective factors, and that is what we want. Finally, for emotional carousel to be effective, research has suggested that it needs to take a whole school approach. Okay, so we can't talk about it in the PE lesson and then go away and forget about it. It needs to be embedded into the whole school. Okay, it needs to be modelled by staff, by other peers, by the leadership team. It needs to be discussed in leadership meetings and assessed and monitored. It needs to be raised in staff meetings and assemblies. It needs to be embedded, okay? That we are here to promote and empower young people with the skills to cope with change and transitioning. So when I mentioned whole school, it's also then about communicating with parents and the wider community, getting them involved, building a morale. Okay, so again, creating partnerships with professional bodies, but also the local community. And it's embedding other health promotion frameworks. As I've mentioned, we've already talked about New South Wales and their Connect, their Thrive, their Succeed. Okay, so we need to look at the research that's been done and take what's applicable to us and go with it to empower students with the skills and the voice to cope with change as they go from young people into adulthood. Thank you so much for listening to me today. I hope you've enjoyed it and feel my passion and go away and really think about my proposal. Thank you for your time.